From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The murder trial of 22-year-old Nathaniel Kangas began today with jury selection in Fairbanks Superior Court.
108 jurors were called into the courtroom to be questioned by defense and prosecuting attorneys. The prosecution is led by Greg Olson, while Greg Parvin of Wasilla will defend Kangas. Jury selection is expected to last throughout the week. Kangas is accused of shooting 2 Alaska State Troopers to death in Tanana on May 1st, 2014, when they tried to arrest his father, Arvin Kangas. Alaska State Trooper Sergeant Scott Johnson and Trooper Gabe Rich had gone to the village to investigate a report that Arvin Kangas had threatened a village public safety officer with a gun.
A Fairbanks man originally charged with attempted murder walked away from the North Star Center at around 1 a.m. Saturday morning. According to troopers, 36-year-old Brian Kazevnikov left the center and started running towards Fairbanks. He was last seen wearing a blue baseball cap, black or blue hoodie, blue jeans, and black sneakers. Kazevnikov was arrested February of 2015 after getting in an argument and firing shots at someone inside a residence. If anyone has information on Kazevnikov's whereabouts, they are asked to contact the Alaska State Troopers at 451-5100.
A city police officer and his family escaped from their burning home in the early morning hours Sunday. Kevin and Jen Mepstead both work for the city of Fairbanks. Kevin is a police officer and Jen is a dispatcher. At about 3:30 Sunday morning, Kevin awoke to find flames in the dwelling and rushed to get his 3 children out. They were unharmed but left with literally the clothes they were wearing. The home and all of their personal effects were destroyed. Kevin had been building the home for his family on his own for the past few years north of Fairbanks. Friends and co-workers have set up a GoFundMe page for the family, and people wanting to donate items can drop them off at the city police station on Cushman Street.
Oil companies in Alaska are reportedly seeing dismal first quarter reports. ExxonMobil saw its profits fall by 63%. The company earned $1.8 billion, down from just under $5 billion brought in during the first quarter last year. Exxon continued making cuts to keep up with the losses caused by low oil prices. ConocoPhillips saw a loss of $1.4 billion in the first quarter of this year, with $2 million of those losses in its Alaska projects.
A hiker has been found dead in Denali National Park Preserve. Authorities believe he fell and suffered a fatal head injury. The National Park Service says a ground team found the body of 24-year-old Michael Purdy of Portland, Oregon on Sunday near the north end of the Savage River Loop Trail. The agency says in a release that clues indicate Purdy diverted from the Riverside Trail to explore higher terrain and then fell and hit his head. Authorities believe the accident happened Tuesday based on Purdy's cell phone activity and sightings of his vehicle. Crews began looking for him Saturday evening after his employer notified park rangers he had missed work Friday and Saturday. The Park Service says Purdy's remains will be recovered by the park helicopter and then transferred to the state medical examiner.
State employees and construction crews are continuing work to protect the Dalton Highway from overflow from the Sag River this week. However, warming temperatures and spring breakup could mean an unstoppable flood on the highway just like last year. The Alaska Department of Transportation has been dealing with flooding on the Dalton Highway since spring 2015. Crews Construction and DOT crews have diverted overflow this year by creating berms and trenches along the Dalton Highway. Next week, Bryce Incorporated will be developing an additional berm near mile 398 of the highway where damage is likely to occur. DOT Public Information Officer Meadow Bailey says the potential for repeat flooding depends on river conditions and the speed of breakup this month. She adds that transportation companies are already preparing for the worst-case scenario.
They are aware of the potential for flooding, and so they're going to be stockpiling food and chemicals, gasoline, that kind of stuff. So last year was a surprise. People now know that there's this possibility this might happen again, so they're stockpiling and preparing for it.
When we come back, Tanana Valley Clinic is reporting a record count of birch pollen in downtown Fairbanks.
Also, a look at this past Saturday's Fairbanks Community Health Fair at Pioneer Park. David Spindler was there and has the details. Stay with us. Welcome back. First Lady Donna Walker announced 13 recipients of the 2016 First Ladies Volunteer of the Year Awards today. Among the recipients was Denny Menner, who was chosen from more than 90 Alaskans nominated for the awards. Menner, who lives north of Fairbanks, is among those to be honored during a luncheon at the Governor's House on May 4th. Menner is known to cut firewood and deliver groceries to neighbors in the Fox and Goldstream areas. We caught up with him this morning at the Fox Community Park. He's been working for 10 years to see the park, which features a large pavilion and has land cleared for a future soccer field, come to fruition. Menner says it's an honor to be recognized for volunteering, but claims the call from the First Lady caught him off guard.
I was shocked, surprised, and embarrassed. I even told the First Lady that she must have the wrong telephone number, the wrong name, because there are many more people in Fox and Alaska that do a lot more volunteer work than I do and need to be recognized. The notion of volunteers is the essence of any community. If people don't help each other out, community, the spirit of culture and community and society is not going to grow. The government can't and shouldn't take care of everybody. We have to do it ourselves.
Have you noticed a spike of allergy symptoms lately? Tanana Valley Clinic is reporting a record count of birch pollen in downtown Fairbanks today. This is a comparison of birch pollen photos from last week on the left and today's amount on the right. The count for today is 4,290, beating the previous record for the highest count 6 years ago, which was about 4,000. Medical lab scientist Susan Harry has been conducting daily counts of pollen in downtown Fairbanks since 1999. Her counts are being used by researchers across the state and by scientists nationally. She says dry weather and high winds are major contributors to the all-time high number of birch pollen.
Rain can knock it down, so then your count drops because it pushes everything to the ground. So it needs nice dry air to fluff around in the atmosphere, and that's what we've had the last week or so, and it made it so it was all flying around. It'll be over soon, most likely. We hit a high and then it'll start dropping off. So hopefully there'll be some allergy relief, soon.
Last weekend, the Fairbanks Community Health Fair took place at Pioneer Park. It's an annual event in Fairbanks for people to get their blood drawn at low cost and get other free health screenings. David Spindler was there and files this report.
The Fairbanks Community Health Fair is one of a few health fair events year-round where people often rely on this as their pit stop for getting their blood drawn. The blood tests done at the health fair come at a minimum cost. It's fast, efficient, and inexpensive, but according to the event program director Sharon Phillips, patients should expect to spend a little more time if they want to see good blood test results.
You basically get a real feel for what's out there in the community that are services for you. And then you're getting blood pressure, height, weight, BMI, hearing, vision, glaucoma, sometimes skin cancer and other tests that we have, all free. And then you pay for the blood work. So that takes time. You can't just drive up and expect to be in and out of here in 5 or 10.
There are at least 130 volunteers who have helped put the health fair together in the spring. The reason people do try every 6 months to come to this event is because they can get a lot of answers about their health condition. When people get their blood drawn, the results are mailed directly to them and no one else. Volunteer Dawn Nelson says it's her first time both participating at the health fair as well as getting her blood drawn, but she thinks it's still risky to only rely on blood test results from the health fair.
I think, though, that it's always risky if somebody interprets their results for themselves. It's always good to have a primary care physician to look over the results, to look at the patient and the results and see that yes, all is normal, or something needs to be adjusted.
This is David Spindler reporting.
All right, Joe Cook is up next with highlights from the Ice Dogs overtime thriller on Saturday night.
Don't miss that or your chance to see if Joe hit a 4-point shot with the Globetrotters. All that and more
next.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook here with the weekend recap. Midwest Division Finals Game 2 at the Big Dipper Saturday night, and it was a game to remember. Fairbanks looking to go up 2-0 in the series, while the Wilderness trying to tie things up. The teams trade goals in the second period. Caden Cahill, he sets up Adam Anderson for the first goal of the game at the 2:49 mark as the home crowd erupts. However, 21 seconds after the goal, Casey Gilling scored the equalizer for the Wilderness and is tied 1-1 after 2 periods. Fairbanks took back the lead with the Jacob Stridesburg goal from the slot courtesy of Clay Cross from behind the net. Minnesota had another fast rebuttal. 52 seconds later, Isaac Berglund's shot gets a bounce. We are tied 2-2, and we would have overtime for the second night in a row. The Ice Dogs got a 5-on-3 power play opportunity in the beginning of OT. Stridesburg quickly passes the puck to Reggie Lutz, and the rookie bears the game-winning goal with a beautiful one-timer. His goal was the first power play goal of the series for either team, and it gives Fairbanks a 3-2 victory.
5-on-3 there. I told Stridesburg to put it right in my sweet spot if he had the chance. That's what he did. So let one go and got it up and right. So feels good to get that one done. Those fans are unreal. They're so passionate. It's so fun to play here. I mean, they make it so enjoyable to play here. And the team just appreciates the fans so much. They're awesome. Best in the league by far.
Yeah, they're not going to go away quietly at all. Last year they actually went on a 10-game win streak after being down 0-2 in their first playoff series. So they ended up winning the cup. So I know they know what the situation's like. So we have to come out Friday and stomp on them.
Because the Ice Dogs won the first 2 games of the series, Saturday's victory was their last home game of the year. Now they put the pressure on Minnesota. Fairbanks just needs 1 win to advance to the Robertson Cup semifinals and win the Midwest Division crown, while the Wilderness need to win 3 straight in the best-of-5 series. The other 3 division final series all stand at 2-0. Bismarck leads Austin in the Central Division. Ashton leads Johnstown in the East, while Wichita Falls leads Topeka in the South. Game 3 of the Midwest Division Finals is Friday, 4:30 Alaska time in Cloquet, Minnesota. The Robertson Cup Final 4 will start May 12th in Edina, Minnesota. There were some notable outcomes over the weekend for local soccer teams. Lathrop, they swept Hutchinson on Saturday. The girls won 6-0, led by Cheyenne Dybert's 3 goals and Michaela Triplehorn's first shutout of the year. It was also Lathrop's first win of the season. Jake Carlson, he picked up his 4th shutout in a 5-0 win over the Hawks for Lathrop. Zach Kosa and Jason Riggs had 2 goals apiece for the Mutes. Lathrop is now 3-0-1 in the MAC. And in Anchorage, West Valley, they lost their first games of the year on Saturday. The girls fell to South in a rematch of the state final, 3-1. Taryn Clark had the lone goal for the Pack, and the South boys, they won 4-0 over West Valley. And now we bring you another exciting edition of the I-5 Interior Top 5 Plays for the month of May. Starting us out at number 5, we're going head hunting. Isaac Garcia uses his good old noggin for one of his 2 scores in a 10-3 victory for Monroe over Hutchinson last Wednesday. At number 4, the Delta Junction Huskies softball team has a double play at the plate, denying 2 scores. They caught 2 Malamutes trying to steal home in a 16-1 win over Lathrop on Monday. Number 3, check out this solo double play for the Hutchinson Hawks as the Hawks first baseman snags the ball out of the air and tags the bag for the DP. That came in a 12-2 loss to West Valley on Friday. Coming in at number 2, Ice Dogs playoff hockey, Jacob Stridesburg to Reggie Lutz for the clutch one-timer is good. The first power play goal of the series gives Fairbanks a 3-2 overtime win and a 2-0 series lead over Minnesota in Game 2 of the Midwest Division Final. And at number 1, the celly might have been better than the goal. Game 1 of the Midwest Division Finals ends in overtime as Ryan Kiro feeds Mitchell Ballman, and his filthy wrist shot from the right circle gives the Ice Dogs a 2-1 victory to start the series. To vote for the play of the week, click on your favorite play on the I-5 poll on webcenter11.com. You can also comment on the KTVF Facebook and YouTube post and at KTVF11 Sports on Twitter for your vote. The play of the week will be revealed this Friday.
The I-5 Sports Report is brought to you by Adient Orthopedic Physical Therapy.
Speaking of top plays in the interior, the Harlem Globetrotters made tons of them on Sunday. The high flyers and fancy move makers out of Harlem entertained the Fairbanks fans at the Carlson Center for their 90th anniversary tour. I got a chance to be a part of the show again this year, this time with the World All-Stars. I came oh so close to hitting that 4-point shot again. I'm not going to show you any highlights of those misses, but this year I was able to hit the 3 balls, so a step up from last year's layup. I had a blast being out there with those guys. I know the Fairbanks fans enjoyed a show for the ages. Great time out there. And that'll do it for sports tonight. Thanks for watching. Your full weather forecast is next after the break, and we'll catch you next time.
Welcome back to News Center Final, and of course we're bringing you the weather. Mike returned today from being in Washington, D.C. over the weekend, a part of that honor flight program. However, he didn't make it back in time to come here to the TV studios and get ready for weather, so one more day you're stuck with me, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and see what we can see for today. Our recent high was 54, recent low 31 degrees. A record high set in this date in 2009, 76 degrees, and a record low of 4 set in 1937. The sun rose at 5:13 a.m. and it set 10:27 p.m. Daylight time of 17 hours 15 minutes. That's a gain of about 6 or 7 minutes from yesterday, and winds are out of the northeast 5 to 15 miles per hour. Barometer 29.56 and holding steady. On the satellite, we can see what we can see, and this was earlier today. However, you could see all those bands of showers that are around Fairbanks. Now, those are going to be happening throughout the night and into the overnight and into next morning. So we will be seeing quite a few areas of scattered showers and isolated rain spots through the next 24 to 48 hours. Other than that, it should clear up. Of course, same thing can be said for Anchorage and the Bowl area there, and around Homer, they also had a storm system. It's all part of one big system that's just slowly moving northward right there. Okay, other than that, Alaska weather around the state. Fort Yukon, 54 degrees, Barrow, 28 degrees, 39 for Nome today, 52 in Bethel and Cold Bay, 44 degrees, Kodiak wet as well, 46 degrees, and on the Panhandle they had showers as well, 48 degrees for Juneau, 51 degrees for Ketchikan. On the satellite national scene, as you can see, it was a doozy weekend for those in Texas as well as some of the southern states, as a big storm system just ran right through them. There were lots of tornadoes that appeared over the weekend, but it is clearing out. As you can see, the latest satellite imagery shows that that system has now traveled to the East Coast, affecting places there. Unfortunately, some of the storms could be considered dangerous, but it looks like they'll blow through the overnight and hopefully be good for them. Now, the jet stream is still way, way low, so that means there's going to be occasional thunderstorms, spotty at best, but it's going to be cooler, and there's still actually snow forecasted for some areas of Utah and Colorado as well for the next day or two, and it's all due to that jet stream. Okay, if you want to look through the weekend forecast, it's still early in the week. The jet stream rebounds a little bit, but there will be severe thunderstorms below that area as well. Looks like the only ones who are really making a good headway or good plans for the weekend is those in Florida, where it's going to be nice and warm in that area. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at our kids' weather watch. Of the day, the United States has more tornadoes than any country in the world. We average 1,200 plus a year. I did not know that. And in fact, there have been tornadoes in the state of Alaska. Thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for providing our weather fact for us. And tune in tomorrow for more fascinating weather facts, or possibly we'll get to see the kids from Joy Elementary School. Tomorrow's forecast today, mostly cloudy for Barrow and Fort Yukon, mostly sunny skies for Nome, 53 degrees for Fort Yukon. Barrow, a little cooler with 27 degrees forecasted, and Nome, kind of the same, 40 degrees. In the interior, mostly cloudy skies across the region, and but what were going to be rain showers in the morning will just turn into kind of dull, overcast skies in the late afternoon. In the Panhandle, cloudy skies for southeast Alaska, 52 degrees and 51 respectively for Juneau and Ketchikan. We'll take a look at the southwest, and we're going to go straight to our short-range forecast. Overnight tonight, expect rain showers off and on throughout the night. Overnight low of 39 degrees. And as you can see, for tomorrow, cloudy with some possible showers as well toward late afternoon, toward evening, actually, 54 degrees there. And taking a look at our extended outlook, 54 degrees for Wednesday, and it's going to clear out by Friday, giving us a nice look at a weekend into the 50s and overnight lows into the 40s as well. All right, well, that was it. Mike, like I said, will hopefully be joining us tomorrow fresh off of his whirlwind tour of Washington, D.C. I spoke to him briefly earlier this evening, and he said, boy, they have you up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they just keep you going all the way through the evening. So he's kind of tired from his vacation. Before we go tonight, KTVF and Bailey's Furniture are teaming up again for the annual Spring Dream giveaway. Watch the evening news for the first half of a word, then go to Bailey's Furniture for the second half and enter for a chance to win $2,500 in furniture. This week's word is memory. Take a trip on down memory lane. That's right. Remember that word, memory. Go to Bailey's Furniture and find the second half of that word, enter your chance to win for $2,500. in furniture. That's all for the Monday edition of News Center Final. Now, join J.R. Lewis tomorrow morning for news updates during the Today Show. But the Tonight Show is next. Guests include Louis C.K., Rufus Wainwright, and one of my favorites, Questlove. That's right. From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.